We have arrived in round 13 in the A-League. Let's walk through all the games with analysis and predictions. Stick with me because at the end I'll also show you what I'm betting based on the analysis, okay? So now let's talk about football. Adelaide United opens the round receiving MacArthur Bulls. Both teams are in the top 6 currently. Adelaide is 6th and MacArthur is the 5th on the ladder. Winning here is very important to maintaining the top 6 towards the knockout phase. The data indicate that both teams are fairly similar. In terms of average scoring, Adelaide has 1.6 versus 1.33 for MacArthur, but in goals conceded, Adelaide takes 0.6 and MacArthur 1.83 per game. Arabuli is the top scorer for the Bulls this season, and maybe the best hope for goals. Craig Noone and Toure are also supportive for the Bulls' offensive system. Daniel da Silva is still injured and may not play this game. It's a massive upset for MacArthur. On the Adelaide side, the left wing Craig Goodwin is the life of the team and the main player, but Ben Halloran and Ibuzuki can help offensively as well. Isaiah Sanchez is suspended for this match, and Adelaide loses a lot of shots and long passes without him. MacArthur won in the last encounter by 2-0. This makes a bit harder for predict, but I'm backing MacArthur because both losses were taking 4 goals. And I don't see this happening again this time. So 1-0 for MacArthur. Western United plays against Sydney FC in Hobart, Tasmania for the first game of the Saturday. Western United is the second last in the ladder, while Sydney FC is the 8th. This is the big game for both teams because regardless of their position now, they are still close to the top 6. In terms of data, Sydney FC has scored 2 goals per game and conceded 1.67 on average. Sydney FC won Western United in the last encounter by 3-1. Robert Mack and Joe Luley are the top scorers with 4 goals each and probably the best hope for goals. Luley is dangerous if he gets some space to shoot or pass, so watch him. Western United has different data, scoring 1.14 and conceding 1.43 goals per game. They are unbeaten in the last 4 out of 5 games at home. Prijovic and Milanovic are the top scorers with 3 goals, but I would say that the right back Joshua Ritson is the best player at the moment, both offensively and defensively. Most plays go by him. Sydney FC is slightly better for this game according to the data, even though Western United has had securing points at home. Playing in Tasmania could actually be in favor of Sydney at this moment due to being in a neutral field. So my predictions is 2-1 for Sydney FC. Brisbane Roar has a difficult game against Melbourne City, also on Saturday. Roar is the 7th position now, and City is still the leader. In the last game, Brisbane Roar lost by 2-0 at home, and McLaren scored twice. The data put Melbourne City as a better team than Brisbane Roar. They score 1.83 per game and concede 0.83 goals on average, while Brisbane scores 0.71 goals on average and concedes 0.83 goals when playing away. Although Melbourne City has conceded only 8 goals in the season, most of them were playing away. Jamie McLaren is in the top scorer with 13 goals so far, with Andre Nabut and Marco Tilio giving tremendous offensive support. Carlo Amiento is the main player on the Brisbane side with 3 goals, especially because Jay O'Shea is suspended and doesn't play this game. Also, Henry Hoare may be essential on the right side for creating chances for Roar. This will be a big challenge for Brisbane Roar to avoid City shooting often on target. I don't really believe they can make it, and in my opinion, Melbourne City is likely to win this game. So I'm predicting 2-0 for them. Do you see this big QR code in the center? This is the free pass to my community on Telegram. Scan it or go to predictortalk.com/join-community to be part as well. There is a place for talk football 24/7, and we also cover more bets from other leagues. So join now! In the last game of Saturday, Perth Glory receives Melbourne Victory for a home game one more time. Perth Glory is facing a good form playing at home as they are unbeaten so far. However, they conceded a goal in most of their home games. Glory is currently in the 9th position, while Melbourne Victory is the last on the ladder. Perth Glory is best according to the data. They score 1.6 goals and concede 1 per game on average, while Victory scores 0.86 and concedes 1.29 per game. Perth Glory also has a higher conversion rate than Melbourne City. It's 13% versus 11%. Perth Glory has been relying on the versatile striker David Williams to create chances, but he only has 2 goals so far. Aaron McEneff has also provided good passing and possession control in the middle for the Glory. D'Agostino, who may be switching Victory to a Norwegian team, is the top scorer with 3 goals. Jake Bremer is also a good player for Victory, even though his performances fluctuate sometimes. It seems to be a battleground for me. This game won't be the prettiest to watch, but I see Perth Glory coming out of a win over Victory, or even a draw. However, I'm backing 1-0 Perth Glory because they have been playing decently. Wellington Phoenix versus Central Coast Mariners opens the Sunday games. The last game between them was a 2-2 draw, and this is probably the most interesting game of the round because it's the 4th against the 2nd on the ladder. The data indicates that Wellington Phoenix is better than the Central Coast Mariners. Phoenix scores 2 goals per game on average and concedes 1.71 goals on average, while Central Coast scores 1.75 and concedes also 1 goal per game. Both teams need around 7 shoots to score. Oscar Zawada and Kraev are the top goal scorers for Phoenix with 5 goals each, and probably the best hope for goals on Phoenix. Scott Wooton is injured and may not play this game. A big shout out to Oliver Sale, who's been saving Phoenix lately. On the Mariners' side, Jason Cummings is the top scorer with 7 goals so far. Marco Tulio is now another important player offensively, but I want to highlight as well Brian and Jacob, who's been playing well defensively lately. This is a good game to watch, and I believe both teams will play offensively and create many chances, and there will be good savings to see from the goalkeepers. As Central Coast Mariners are in a better form right now, I believe they have what it takes to win this game. So I predict 2-1 for Mariners this time. Closing the round, Newcastle Jets receive Western Sydney United. Western Sydney is in a much better overall form than Newcastle Jets at this moment. They are the 3rd in the ladder, while the Jets are in the 10th position. Newcastle Jets needs to win if they want to seek the top 6 now. The data indicate that Newcastle Jets is better than Western Sydney. The Jets scores 1.2 per game and concedes 1.4 on average. And Western Sydney's scoring average is only 0.67, but only concede the same 0.67 goals. Becca Darts-Milia has had the best offensive performance so far with 2 goals and 2 assists. Joshua and Trent are also important players in the Jets' offensive system. The goalkeeper Jack Duncan is the best defensive performance though. On the red side, Brandon Borrello is the top scorer with 3 goals, but actually they have a pretty strong defensive system with Marcelo, Gabriel and Callum being important players for the team. As neither teams rely on a specific player to score and both try to not concede first and then score, I'm backing Western Sydney to win by 1-0 because they rarely concede 2 goals in the same game, and Jets are most likely to concede at least 1 goal. It's all about whether Western Sydney can score or not. Now I would like to show you all the bets I placed for this upcoming round. Be mindful that the odds may be different from what you see here. Feel free to copy them to your bet slip and never use any money that you can't afford to lose. Sports betting has risks and as any other investment, and you're not gonna get rich overnight, so please always bet responsibly. Subscribe to the channel and receive the next games analysis. This space is now open for you to share your opinions and let me know what your predictions are for the games. And I'll see you soon.